America's backbone was built on blue-collar business grit, grind, and muscle. This is where you stop working for the business, and the business starts working for you.
Chris, a lot of guys get burnt out being entrepreneurs, business owners. It could be stressful. What advice would you give for dealing with mental burnout and managing the daily challenges of running a business?
Man, this hits home because I remember there's breaking points, and I've heard other people talk about breaking points in business. I remember my first breaking point on my startup was, my first breaking point was getting my phone to ring without me having to physically door knock. The real breaking point was when I was nothing but a firefighter and it was burning me out. Like everything bottlenecked to me. And it bottlenecked to me because I didn't have systems and processes, and I didn't have someone to help me build those systems and processes. And that's when I went on my journey of getting business coaches and started spending money on that development. Because I was working 70, 80-hour work weeks. I had a new wife at this point. I needed a break. I needed a mental break. Like I had decision fatigue. Like, thank God I had a uniform to wear and I didn't have to decide what clothes I was wearing that day because I was making decisions all day long. I remember my girlfriend at the time turned wife. We'd be like, what you want to eat? And I was like, I don't care. Just decide. Like, just please decide supper for us. I don't want to have to make another decision. Yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
Man, so I'm doing this now well over 30 years. I'll tell you what has made it easier. When I was in my early 20s, I was making every decision on my own. Yeah. I never had any counsel. I just figured I made mistakes. I almost didn't even look for counsel. I just thought, I'll figure it out. I had that, almost wore that like a badge of honor. Yeah. What I changed was, of course, learning more and creating systems. So I started to look at, self-reflect on my problems. Like, if you have a problem, the same similar problems like 3 times, you have to stop and you have to fix that problem because it can easily be 30 or 40 times very soon. So you got to see what it is. So that could be bad, quote unquote, bad employees or account receivable issues or whatever. Like a lot of people, they just put it out so they can get to Monday. Or they can get through that payroll. You got to diagnose that problem, just like a doctor diagnosing a sickness, and you got to find a solution for that. When I started doing that, I saw that I was really good at solving problems, and then they started to go away. But the second part of that is, I didn't do this till later. You have to talk to people who are further ahead than you, have experience, not necessarily always in your industry, but just really good problem solvers. They need to be entrepreneurial because regular W-2 people will not understand this stuff. Yeah. And you need to get them in your network and have feedback going back and forth. Chris and I, we do it.
Yeah, I feel like every business, there's not a new business problem.
No.
It's just when you hit certain levels, you hit these breaking points. So like after I got my systems and processes built, I still had the hiring breaking point, like learning how to hire. That was really just more of a, strategy, skill set to be able to hire, to identify people, know what questions to ask and whatnot. So I would say my systems and processes were my first breaking point. My second breaking point was establish leadership. Hiring in leadership, not skilled personnel, but people that had the experience to lead someone else, to be able to paint a vision and tell them the steps to get to where they were trying to go, to encourage the team, to keep them motivated, to keep them incentivized, to keep them quality driven, to also build trust with them so that they would trust that they were there to help and take care of them so that they would follow. Those leadership skills, I feel like that's your next really biggest breaking point. You have skills that have to be learned and acquired, but if I think of a breaking point from startup, it's really implementing systems and processes, and then the next one is getting that mid-level leadership established in your company so that you stop wearing all the hats of general manager, project manager, estimator, sales manager, all of those that you wear as a startup, because all of those are required in the business. I am finally gotten to the point in my main core business that I started with 7 years ago to where I have those people established, and now I'm still just redefining or refining the scorecards that I manage them by. I still am the motivator and the voice inside the company. So like on our Friday meetings, I'm sitting there pitching and really getting them motivated and keeping the culture hot and just a culture of winners. But now I've been able to shed a lot of those responsibilities, and that is why I think people stay so burned out, because they don't see an end in sight. If you never see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's like, damn, what am I working for? How long am I, like nothing's changing. I find myself, I will start to feel depressed, that feeling of depressed, if I don't see progress in life. And that is probably the biggest issue with most entrepreneurs, is with their current skill set they sit in, they don't see progress, so they get shiny object syndrome, and they start looking in other areas to light a new fire in them, which resets the learning curve, which prevents them from hitting big financial gains like they hoped to when they first started the entrepreneurial journey, instead of getting in a group of individuals that's already hit these milestones. Like if we had someone come in and say, man, I just feel like I constantly put fires out today. And then we sit there and ask them a couple of questions, we would immediately start dissecting and say, dude, you need a system here. Your simple statement of, if it happens 3 times, you need to put a system in place so it doesn't happen the 4th time. That's something that someone that has not gone through building systems yet wouldn't have thought of, because everything's happening 3, 4, 5 times. So they don't think, let me stop, write this down so that I can start to problem solve for this, so I don't ever have to acknowledge this problem again.
I like the three time rule, because we even do it with emails. If we get this very similar question 3 times, we make a template. We create something. And you say, well, shouldn't you do it for everything? No, just start with things 3 times or more, because you'll be very busy doing that. Absolutely. And the things that are going to be 1 or 2 times is not really a problem. They're not. You can always get to those. But I always think when I see a guy, people I've known, my own experience in businesses, and guys in the Blue Collar Millionaire who say it, when they're stressed, it's because it's almost always going to be because they don't know the answer. Mm-hmm. They don't see the end in light, as you say, the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, but they don't know the answer. I can think of lots of things that stressed me out 20 years ago that do not stress me out at all now, because it's like, I already know the answer. It's simple. That's why I try to share that answer with a lot of people. And I think of some things that, when I see somebody talking about being stressed out, they're probably, I know what area they are in their business. Mm-hmm. There's really, well, if we made it 4 levels, one is you're a solopreneur. Mm-hmm. You're going to be stressed out because you don't have enough work, you don't have enough money, you're doing everything yourself. The second one is you have 2 kind of people helping you. Your owner-operator. Your owner-operator, you're going to have some stresses. The third one is now you got maybe 8, 10 people, but now you have different new set of problems. But then the 4th level, say you're making $1 million in EBITDA, you got a really good company. Those people are almost always less stressed. If you think of people in the deal maker or people you know doing $1 million in EBITDA, do they look less stressed or more stressed to me? They always look way less stressed. They have revenue and they have people to lean on. You can tell when, like, I won't say people's names, but I can tell when I'm talking to them, there's no rush. I know that feeling of going out with somebody and you're looking at your phone the whole time, because like even at lunch on a Friday, like anything could unravel. Yeah. Yeah. And then you could see other people, they're at the event, there's nothing to do. So I know that from my own business. I used to feel really stressed 2012, 13, 14. I don't feel any of that, and I'm so much bigger now. So that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. Like you can when you get bigger and make more money, you could become like a decamillionaire type of company, you're probably going to have way less stress. You're going to have a new stress of possibly getting sued, because you're going to get sued. But most of the other stresses are going to be gone.
So here's what ultimately changed my frustration, stress level, not seeing a way out, was other people, other entrepreneurs, people that had already gone through it. This is why we are both in masterminds, multiple different masterminds. We have environment that we can call on the people that are members in that environment, and also the coaches or mentors that are leading that group of individuals. This is why we started Blue Collar Millionaire. This is why we've got the $8 group inside of school, Blue Collar Millionaire school, on the school platform. This is why we built the accelerator, so that they get more interaction with us and with the community on live Q&As. This is why we got our elite group, where they get even more frequent interactions, because you're getting into more problems and you've got more personnel to delegate off to, the action plans off to, so you end up needing more frequent conversation because you're moving at a faster rate. Like, these communities are priceless. When you think about the years of stress that you're saving from yourself over $8, $80, $500, we pay thousands of dollars a month to be in our groups, because we understand where we're going, and we know people inside of that group have already gone through those, and they can give us the answers. We just need to be humble enough to ask the question.
All right, I'll give you a quick question. If you had a big problem with something happens tomorrow, you're not really, it's a big problem. It's going to cost money. It's like you're not sure what to do. And you have to, in your mind, think of 5 or 6 people you're going to go to, and you're going to talk to them tomorrow. How many of those people are entrepreneurs? All of them. How many of those people are in some type of group where they pay money to get into a master? All of mine.
My relationships were forged with those people because of the paid group, not the free, and that's a big deal.
I have one mentor, like I got him from SCORE, so he's 70, he's not in, he is in paid groups on his own, but he's super high level entrepreneur. He's the only one. The other ones are all in these groups. None of these people are my buddies with W-2s, your cousin, they're none of them. No. But that's what most people, they already know that those people can't help them. So then it's just in their head. They get no new information, they get stressed out. But I tell, even when it comes to quality checks, we need clean eyes. We get we get these cataracts because we're seeing all of the junk every single day in our business. And when people tell me what I need to fix my business, sometimes I feel so embarrassed, because I'm just like, why didn't I think about that? But the reality is I was thinking about everything else. I didn't even have the bandwidth to think about that. So I needed somebody with some clean eyes to come in and be able to say, hey, here's what you need to do. Bring clarity to the situation. Whiteboard with me for a second. Yeah. And why I pay groups, because it gets all the tire kickers out of the way. Like, I just understand, I've experienced it, and if someone hasn't experienced, they don't know. When you start to pay to be in the room with other people, and they're paying, and everybody's paying to be in that room, the quality of person levels up. The desire for growth, the discipline, and the consistency in that room amongst those people level up. Absolutely. That's why it's worth paying for it. Mental burnout's a thing. The other thing, if you don't do all that, sometimes it is, you got to get away for 2 hours, go watch a movie, go work out. Yep. Don't do something I used to do. I used to go try to turn my brain off, kill a bunch of beers. Yeah, now you got 2 problems tomorrow. You got the same problem, and you're hungover. Yep. Now I go for a run, go for a 5-mile run, go get your mind clear. Think about something else. Exercise will always give you the endorphins. Yeah. Come back, tackle your problem. Now you do the exercise, and you call 1 or 2 people in your tribe who know it, who have been there, done that. You're going to feel completely different after that. those two things happen.
Hey, if you want more content, if you're looking to scale your business, if you're looking how to buy a business, if you're looking to start up a business, if you just want a community of entrepreneurs to hang out with and that you can relate to, then you need to check out our Blue Collar Millionaire School. That's SKOOL, School Group. Alex Hormozy, as a matter of fact, invested into school. That we wanted to get on that train. So we've got an $8 group, and all we do is talk about business. If that's where your passion is and you're looking to grow, we are dropping exclusive content, me and Kevin, stuff that has worked for us. And not only that, we're also interviewing millionaires. They're telling their journey, and this is exclusive to the group. If you want a self-paced course, how to buy a business, you want to learn how to create affiliate marketing, you want to learn how to utilize virtual assistants overseas, if you want to learn how to build big commercial databases and how to email market them, these are some of the courses that's sitting on our group called Accelerator. Okay, so this is going to be your Blue Collar Millionaire Accelerator course. That's $80, $79 exactly on school platform as well.
For our top group, go to bluecollarmillionaire.net. It's called Boardroom Elite. I love this group. We meet every Thursday for 1 hour virtually, 2 p.m. Eastern. It is taped, but Chris and I go through things. We pick a subject. We go into great detail on how we did it, how it works, soup to nuts, really tactical stuff, not high level, hey, you guys should try to do this. All in, you can just copy that system and do it. BlueCollarMillionaire.net. That group is $500 a month, $6,000 a year. If you implement even 10% of what we teach, there's no chance you don't make more than $6,000. Yesterday, I went over workers' comp, how I saved tons of money, how I taught people how to do it, how I know more about workers' comp than any blue-collar guy ever. And I told all these guys how to do it. That's the kind of in great detail we do it. And then we answer questions, and you have access to Chris and I because you're live with us. If that's something you want, you could be in maybe your business is doing $250,000 gross and you want to get to $1 million, or we have many members who are doing well over $1 million who are trying to get to $1 million of EBITDA. We only talk about stuff we did. We only talk about stuff that works. BlueCollarMillionaire.net.